Every meal you eat quietly affects your heart's health, especially after 50. It's not just about cholesterol or salt. Hidden ingredients in everyday foods can slowly damage your arteries and raise the risk of heart attack or stroke without any warning. You might feel fine now, but the silent buildup inside your blood vessels could be stealing years from your life. Understanding these hidden heart risks in your daily diet is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your future. Let's uncover what to watch for and how to keep your heart strong no matter your age. If you want to protect your heart and live healthier for yourself and those you love, subscribe now for caring advice you can trust. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone else to take steps toward a stronger, happier heart. Every meal you eat quietly affects your heart's health, especially after 50. It's not just about cholesterol or salt. Hidden ingredients in everyday foods can slowly damage your arteries and raise the risk of heart attack or stroke without any warning. You might feel fine now, but the silent buildup inside your blood vessels could be stealing years from your life. Understanding these hidden heart risks in your daily diet is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your future. Let's uncover what to watch for and how to keep your heart strong, no matter your age. If you want to protect your heart and live healthier for yourself and those you love, subscribe now for caring advice you can trust. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone else to take steps toward a stronger, happier heart. Processed meats, such as sausages, bacon, and deli meats, are a common part of many diets, often praised for their convenience and rich flavors. However, for seniors especially, these foods pose significant risks that are important to understand. Packed with unhealthy saturated fats, nitrates, and high amounts of salt, processed meats can quietly damage heart health over time, increasing the risk of high blood pressure, clogged arteries, and ultimately heart attacks. Saturated fats found in processed meats contribute to the buildup of cholesterol in the arteries. When cholesterol accumulates on artery walls, it forms plaques that narrow the blood vessels, a condition known as atherosclerosis. This narrowing reduces blood flow to the heart and other organs, making the heart work harder and increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Studies show that diets high in saturated fat correlate with elevated levels of LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol, directly linked to heart disease. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because their bodies process fats less efficiently, and arterial stiffness naturally increases with age. Another critical concern is the presence of nitrates and nitrites used as preservatives in processed meats. While these chemicals help prevent bacterial growth and enhance color and flavor, they have been linked to harmful effects on the cardiovascular system. When nitrates convert into nitrosamines in the body, these compounds can damage the lining of blood vessels, increasing inflammation and oxidative stress. Chronic inflammation is a known driver of many age-related diseases, including heart disease. Some doctors warn that regular consumption of processed meats raises markers of inflammation, which can accelerate artery damage in seniors. Salt content in processed meats is also alarmingly high. Excess sodium intake is directly related to increased blood pressure, a leading risk factor for heart disease and stroke. High blood pressure forces the heart to pump harder, which over time can cause heart enlargement, heart failure, and damage to vital organs. According to health guidelines, older adults should limit their sodium intake to reduce these risks, but processed meats often contain well beyond recommended levels. A single serving of bacon or deli meat can exceed 1/3 of the daily recommended sodium intake, making these foods a hidden danger. Research supports the link between processed meat consumption and cardiovascular risk. A review published in the journal Circulation found that each daily serving of processed meat increases the risk of heart disease by nearly 42%. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, highlighting the broader health risks beyond just heart disease. For seniors whose systems may already be compromised, reducing intake of processed meats can have a meaningful impact on preventing heart complications. Avoiding processed meats does not mean sacrificing Flavor or enjoyment. There are many heart-healthy alternatives available that provide protein without the harmful fats, nitrates, and salt. Fresh lean meats like chicken or turkey breast, fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids, legumes, and plant-based proteins can nourish the body and support cardiovascular health. Some studies suggest that diets rich in whole foods, such as the Mediterranean diet, significantly lower the risk of heart attacks and strokes, in part by eliminating processed meats. Seniors who replace processed meats with healthier protein. Sources often notice improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and overall energy. Healthcare providers frequently recommend these dietary changes as part of managing hypertension and preventing heart disease progression. In clinical practice, reducing processed meat consumption is one of the simplest yet most effective interventions for lowering cardiovascular risk. It's also important to read labels carefully. Many seemingly healthy deli meats or packaged sausages may still contain high levels of sodium, preservatives, and saturated fats. Choosing fresh, unprocessed options or preparing meals at home allows better control over ingredients and promotes heart-friendly eating habits. For those who enjoy cured or smoked meats, limiting portions and frequency can help reduce risk. Beyond physical health, cutting back on processed meats supports better digestion and weight management, both critical for heart health. Processed meats tend to be calorie-dense and low in fiber, which can lead to weight gain and poor gut health. Excess weight further stresses the cardiovascular system and increases the chance of developing conditions like type 2 diabetes, which compounds heart disease risk. In summary, processed meats carry hidden dangers for seniors that go beyond simple nutrition facts. Their high saturated fat, nitrate, and sodium content contribute to elevated blood pressure, clogged arteries, and increased inflammation, all of which raise the risk of heart attacks. Evidence from multiple scientific studies reinforces the need to limit or avoid these foods, especially for older adults seeking to protect their heart health and improve longevity. By making informed choices and opting for fresh, whole food alternatives, seniors can reduce cardiovascular risks and enjoy better quality of life. Heart health is not just about medicine. It starts with what is on the plate every day. Refined carbohydrates and sugary foods like white bread, pastries, and sugary cereals may seem like harmless comfort foods, but they pose significant hidden risks to heart health, especially for those over 65. These foods can cause rapid blood sugar spikes and contribute to chronic inflammation, two powerful factors that weaken the cardiovascular system and increase the risk of serious heart complications. Understanding how refined carbs and sugars affect the body and why avoiding them matters more than ever with age is critical for protecting heart health and longevity. Refined carbohydrates are grains that have been processed to remove the bran and germ, stripping away much of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals. White bread and many baked goods fall into this category, as do most sugary breakfast cereals and many snack foods. This processing leaves behind mostly simple starches that the body quickly breaks down into glucose, causing a rapid rise in blood sugar after eating. For seniors, this spike can be particularly harmful. When blood sugar surges sharply, the pancreas responds by releasing insulin to help cells absorb glucose for energy or storage. Over time, repeated blood sugar spikes and corresponding insulin surges can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where cells no longer respond properly to insulin. Insulin resistance is a well-known precursor to type 2 diabetes, a disease strongly linked to increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and other cardiovascular problems. In fact, diabetes doubles to quadruples the risk of heart disease and is a leading cause of death among older adults. But blood sugar spikes do more than just contribute to diabetes risk. They also trigger inflammatory responses in the body. Research shows that rapid changes in blood glucose levels stimulate the production of pro-inflammatory molecules, which can damage the inner lining of blood vessels, called the endothelium. This damage promotes the development of atherosclerosis, the buildup of fatty plaques inside arteries that restrict blood flow and increase the likelihood of blood clots. Inflammation also plays a central role in destabilizing plaques, making them more likely to rupture and cause heart attacks or strokes. Chronic inflammation is often called a silent killer because it progresses without obvious symptoms, but gradually harms the cardiovascular system. Older adults are especially vulnerable because aging itself is associated with increased baseline inflammation, sometimes referred to as inflammaging. When refined carbs and sugary foods are consumed, frequently, they add fuel to this inflammatory fire, accelerating heart damage and undermining health. Sugary foods also impact heart health through other pathways. Excess sugar intake contributes to weight gain and obesity, conditions that strain the heart and increase blood pressure. High blood pressure, or hypertension, is a major risk factor for heart failure and stroke. Additionally, sugary diets can worsen blood lipid profiles, raising triglycerides and lowering HDL, good cholesterol, further increasing cardiovascular risk. Study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that people who consumed 17 to 21% of their daily calories from added sugars had a 38% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who consumed less than 8%. This research highlights just how dangerous high sugar intake can be for cardiovascular health. For seniors, controlling sugar consumption becomes even more critical, as the body's metabolic processes slow down and vulnerability to heart disease rises. Many popular breakfast cereals, pastries, and white bread products contain surprisingly high amounts of added sugars and refined flour, making them major contributors to these health issues. For example, a single serving of sugary cereal can contain upwards of 10 grams of added sugar, and many commercial pastries are loaded with both sugar and unhealthy fats. Regular consumption of these foods can create a cycle of blood sugar highs and lows, leaving one feeling tired, hungry, and craving more sugar, a pattern that makes maintaining heart-healthy habits difficult. Avoiding refined carbohydrates and sugary foods does not mean giving up on taste or enjoyment. Whole grains such as oats, quinoa, barley, and whole wheat provide fiber and nutrients that slow digestion and prevent blood sugar spikes. Eating whole fruits rather than drinking fruit juices or eating sugary snacks delivers natural sugars with fiber and antioxidants that support heart health. Choosing these healthier alternatives can stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect the arteries. Doctors and dietitians often recommend seniors follow dietary patterns like the Mediterranean or DASH diets, which emphasize whole grains, fresh vegetables, fruits, nuts, lean proteins, and healthy fats, while minimizing refined carbs and added sugars. Clinical trials show that seniors who adopt these diets experience improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and markers of inflammation, key factors in reducing heart disease risk. Reducing refined carbohydrates and sugars also benefits other aspects of health that affect the heart indirectly. Stable blood sugar helps preserve kidney function, which is important because kidney disease and heart disease often occur together. Better blood sugar control supports brain health as well, lowering the risk of cognitive decline and dementia that frequently coexist with cardiovascular problems in seniors. Managing cravings and changing lifelong eating habits can be challenging. However, gradual shifts, such as replacing white bread with whole grain versions, choosing unsweetened cereals topped with fresh fruit, and limiting pastries to occasional treats, can make a substantial difference. Reading nutrition labels carefully is essential because many processed foods contain hidden sugars under names like corn syrup, dextrose, or maltose. It is also worth noting that the timing of carbohydrate intake affects heart health. Eating balanced meals with protein and healthy fat slows glucose absorption and blunts blood sugar spikes. Avoiding late-night sugary snacks helps prevent overnight blood sugar fluctuations that can disrupt heart rhythm and blood pressure regulation. In conclusion, refined carbohydrates and sugary foods are more than just empty calories. They are potent contributors to blood sugar instability and chronic inflammation, two major drivers of heart disease in seniors. Their regular consumption increases the risk of insulin resistance, diabetes, high blood pressure, artery damage, and ultimately, heart attacks or strokes. Scientific evidence strongly supports reducing these foods and focusing on whole, nutrient-rich alternatives to protect heart health after 65. Making informed dietary choices can help seniors maintain energy, independence, and a longer, healthier life with a strong and resilient heart. Fried and fast foods like fried chicken, French fries, and many popular fast food meals are tempting choices, especially when life feels busy or energy is low. However, for individuals over 65, these foods can pose serious risks to heart health. They are often loaded with unhealthy trans fats and excessive sodium, both of which work against the cardiovascular system, raising bad cholesterol and putting heavy strain on an aging heart. Understanding the impact of these foods and why it is crucial to avoid them can empower seniors to protect their heart and overall well-being. Trans fats are artificial fats created through a process called hydrogenation, which solidifies liquid oils and extends shelf life. Unfortunately, many fried and fast foods contain significant amounts of these harmful fats. Trans fats are known to increase low-density lipoprotein, LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, while simultaneously lowering high-density lipoprotein, HDL cholesterol, which is protective. This imbalance promotes the buildup of fatty plaques inside arteries, leading to a condition known as atherosclerosis. Over time, narrowed and hardened arteries restrict blood flow, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of trans fats because aging arteries tend to be less flexible and more prone to damage. The presence of trans fats accelerates this deterioration, making it easier for blockages to form. According to research published in the New England Journal of Medicine, even small amounts of trans fat intake significantly raise the risk of cardiovascular events, with the greatest impact observed among older populations. Besides trans fats, fried and fast foods contain dangerously high levels of sodium. Excessive sodium intake is a primary cause of high blood pressure or hypertension, a condition often called the silent killer, because it usually has no obvious symptoms but quietly damages the heart and blood vessels. High blood pressure forces the heart to work harder to pump blood, increasing the risk of heart failure, heart attack, and stroke. Seniors are especially sensitive to sodium, as the kidney's ability to filter excess salt diminishes with age, leading to fluid retention and swelling, which further stress the heart. A typical fast food meal, such as fried chicken with French fries, can contain well over the recommended daily sodium limit, which for older adults is generally advised to stay below 2,500 to 2,300 milligrams per day. Just one meal can provide more sodium than the body should consume in an entire day, pushing blood pressure higher and worsening existing heart conditions. Additionally, fried foods are often cooked in oils repeatedly heated to high temperatures, which causes the formation of harmful compounds like acrylamide and advanced glycation end products. Ages. These substances promote inflammation and oxidative stress, both contributors to cardiovascular disease and age-related decline. Chronic inflammation is linked to stiffening of blood vessels and damage to the heart muscle, making it more difficult for seniors to maintain heart health. Frequent consumption of fried and fast foods also contributes to unhealthy weight gain and obesity, conditions that further burden the heart. Excess weight raises cholesterol levels, increases blood pressure, and can lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, all major risk factors for heart disease. For seniors, carrying extra weight places additional strain on joints and the heart, reducing mobility and overall quality of life. Many seniors may turn to fast foods for convenience or out of habit, unaware of the serious health consequences. While these foods can offer quick satisfaction, the long-term effects can be devastating, including accelerated artery damage and reduced heart function. Studies consistently show that diets high in fried and fast foods correlate with higher rates of heart attacks, heart failure, and cardiovascular death among older adults. Fortunately, avoiding fried and fast foods is one of the most effective ways seniors can protect their hearts. Replacing these items with meals rich in whole foods, such as vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats, supports cardiovascular health and reduces inflammation. Choosing cooking methods like baking, grilling, steaming, or sautéing with heart-healthy oils like olive or avocado oil reduces harmful fat intake while preserving flavor and nutrients. Many nutrition experts recommend planning meals ahead of time to minimize reliance on fast foods. Simple home-cooked meals can be quick, affordable, and heart-friendly. For those who need convenience, frozen or pre-prepared meals that are low in sodium and free from trans fats can be healthier alternatives. Reading nutrition labels carefully is critical because many processed foods contain hidden trans fats and high sodium levels. Seniors concerned about taste and texture often worry that avoiding fried foods means losing enjoyment. However, herbs, spices, and natural flavor enhancers can make meals delicious without relying on salt or deep frying. Experimenting with different herbs like rosemary, thyme, garlic, and paprika can add satisfying flavor while supporting heart health. It's also important to consider that many fast food chains have begun offering healthier options, such as grilled chicken, salads, and fruit sides. While these options may be better, vigilance is still needed because dressings, sauces, and certain preparation methods can add hidden sugars, sodium, or fats. Awareness and making thoughtful choices can help seniors enjoy occasional meals out without compromising their heart health. In conclusion, fried and fast foods present multiple threats to seniors' cardiovascular health. Loaded with trans fats and excessive sodium, these foods raise bad cholesterol, increase blood pressure, and place heavy strain on the aging heart. Their consumption accelerates artery damage, inflammation, and risk of serious heart events. Scientific studies highlight the strong link between frequent intake of these foods and increased heart disease risk in older adults. Avoiding fried and fast foods and choosing wholesome, nutrient-rich alternatives is a critical step to maintain a strong, resilient heart and enjoy a longer, healthier life after 65.